This is Hank Scott for The Pure Truth Restored. How's life been treating you? Do you feel safe in your own home, at your place of work or business, in your city, state, or nation? Or are you worried about terrorism or the economy, police state attacks, or government leaders and the press misleading you for their own personal or political power, aggrandizement, perverse need to act tyrannical or take away your property, freedom, or life in whatever way they please? Do you have enough money to put food on your table? Work less. Take that vacation you've dreamed about all your life. Get that education you know you or your children need. Or do some of the things you used to enjoy doing, but now feel you simply can't afford. Are you finding it increasingly difficult to justify all the sacrifices you've had to make in return for so few rewards in life? Are relationships with your significant other, family, parents, children, your boss, fellow workers or employees, strained or stressed to the breaking point? Are you finding it increasingly difficult to hold on to a sense of faith and a belief in the fact that everything can and will turn out for the best if you just hang in there a little while longer? Have you wondered why your prayers haven't been answered, or perhaps aren't even being heard? And are you curious to know what you can do to change that right now? When you hear or read about all of the natural or man-made disasters and tragedies every day, do you recall the fact about a wrathful Creator's curses upon the disobedient and wondered if you're on His short list of persons to get? Where would you rather be than here? You know how when you meet somebody and you politely ask, "How are you doing?" they automatically respond, "Okay," but you know they don't really mean it? Either that or they've got a whole new definition of that word than you'll find in most dictionaries. Well, I'd ask them instead, where would you rather be than here? Come to think of it, where would you rather be? Would you rather be living in some other country because of oppression, war, or a bad economy where you already are? But what makes you think things will be any better there? Whatever your troubles, how do you know you won't take them with you wherever you go? If you don't believe in your Creator's existence and think the complex, even symbiotically dependent, different life forms that cannot exist without each other just somehow came into existence all by themselves without any outside help, and a lot of it, would changing locations, circumstances, spouses, or jobs change your mind? Or would being in a life or death situation, like a plane suddenly plummeting out of the sky, make any difference in your opinion? And that's the best you could call even a lifelong education built entirely out of the cards of other men's and or women's opinions, whose lives were likewise similarly constructed like a towering house of cards, just waiting for the slightest breeze to knock it over. That breeze might come in the form of a falling plane, a car or train wreck, a burning building, an explosion, a murderous attack, war or riot, or even a flood, earthquake, whirlwind, or falling meteor or comet out of the heavens. Disaster may come in many different forms, including drought and famine, cancer, heart disease, or some other fatal malady, but so can miraculous protection from all these terrors. One thing you can absolutely count on, however, is the ineffectual and feeble attempts of your fellow humanity, and even your nation or any group of them, to protect and save you from any of these. for the would-be rescuers often fall victim themselves. Or else they're just as likely to be raising false flags behind which their motives are to rob you of what little liberty and few freedoms you have left, as they claim various sources of quote-unquote terrorism and falsely promise quote-unquote security until their trap springs shut on the unthinking, unwary, incredulous, gullible, and deluded masses. Are you being misled down some primrose path by criminal, political, or religious sociopaths who gravitate to governmental or other positions of rank, privilege, and power, where they are aided and abetted by others like them already firmly ensconced, whose sole intent is to rob, jail, or kill you if they can't get your resistance-free quote-unquote consent to their predatory intentions? Or are you one of those who thinks armed resistance, stashing stockpiles of food and other necessities such as gold, silver, platinum, copper, or nickel will somehow protect or save you, or any number of deadly weapons of force, or any amount of martial training can protect you or those you care for from a determined SWAT team, military or police combat unit, acting under orders of some criminal-minded judge or elected official, self-appointed despot, or other insane dictator? If human history has taught us anything, it's that there is no end of such evils, and limited new lands to which you can flee to escape from such crimes. Until today, there's nowhere left to run and hide. If the end of every once great ancient empire tells us anything, there is a very real creator, capable of both foretelling far in advance all such events prophetically, and also able to bring them to pass with uncanny accuracy and finality. Looking at what has already happened in this world in just the last brief century, and at what now threatens to erupt with lethal, world-shaking, murderous consequence in the very near future, over the next few years and fewer decades, wouldn't you like to be on that Creator's good side, sheltered under the wings of His secure and protective blessings? One thing is certain. As revealed prophetically through inspired scriptures of the imminent and near future, not even all the nations on earth will be able to oppose His will or prevent His kingdom from arriving and finally ruling over them all with a rod of iron, to each according to their willingness or unwillingness to humbly submit. In fact, here is precisely what one ancient prophet and psalmist revealed will soon happen. In Psalm 2, verses 1 through 12, the prophet wrote, "Why do the nations conspire and the nations plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against Yahweh and against His anointed one. Let us break their chains, they say, and throw off their shackles. Then He rebukes them in His anger, and terrifies them in His wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my sacred hill. I will proclaim the decree of Yahweh. He said to me, You are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will rule over them with an iron scepter. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest He becomes angry and you are destroyed in your way. For His wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in Him." So when asked, how's life, when that time fully comes, hopefully you'll honestly be able to say, blessed and abundant. Remember that you heard these glad tidings right here on the Pure Truth Restored, just before they come to pass in the very near and long since predetermined future.
sure to see the next revealing episode of The Pure Truth Restored. You'll find it online at thepuretruthrestored.com.